Good morning, everybody. Today is just a little drive to my workplace. Just remove this. Sorry for the dirty windscreen. Been doing a lot of driving lately. Not me, but my family. I'll make sure to get the insects off before the next drive. I don't know if you heard, but I think there are some rumors that maybe we are moving to a 14.4 something version of FSD before too long in EU. I'm not really sure if it's true because I think Tesla's approval is tied to a certain version of FSD. But it would be really awesome if we could get the new version that has some more parking options and stuff. This version of FSD is quite limited, to say the least, in how it handles the final destination. Nice and cautious here. The rumors I've heard is that we're supposed to get it in the beginning of July, sorry. June is way past. Also, I heard there are some rumors that Sweden is really trying to stop the FSD approval because of the speed offset that is possible. They think it's highly immoral or something that you can enter a speed offset to get to more natural driving. Seems like some people find it quite important that you can do like 3, 4, 5 kilometers an hour offset to drive more natural. But I think here around Copenhagen, most people drive at or just below the speed limit because there are so many speed cameras. So I think for me or for people around here, it would not matter if they just removed the option to do a speed offset. Yeah, you can go car. I just gave it a little bump with the accelerator here. It has a hard time recognizing turning arrows when there's a green light for the turning lane. And I think that's perfectly fine. If there's any doubt, I would much rather that it doesn't drive. It's very easy to just give a small tap on the accelerator and the system takes that as an approval to proceed. In general, I think I've driven around 1,000 kilometers now with FSD active. And I'm pretty sure it has done nothing that is in any way dangerous so far. there are a few remnants from the American style of driving, like it would, so once in a while uh, it overtakes in the right on the motorway, which you can't do in Denmark. Um, but a few times I've had to do a right turn on red, like they do in the US, where if you come up to a red light and there are no traffic on the left, you can proceed. That's not at all allowed in Europe, so that's been actually the only real disengagements I've had, is those two things. And it's not like it was dangerous, it was just illegal. Then I've had a few disengagements where I got impatient, especially if I had passengers, at like parking lots and stuff. That wasn't dangerous or critical in any way, just me losing the patience with the car, trying to decide which baits to take or how to get out of the parking lot. A few days ago I did a trip to Jylland. It was about a little over 300 kilometers, like 200 miles, of pretty much only motorway driving at speeds most of the time of 130 kilometers an hour. And the car did really well, like incredibly well. I have a wife that gets car sick very easily, and she actually thought the system drove better than I. It was more smooth, and it was actually just as good at anticipating the speed you need to make to have a smooth lane change without bothering the cars coming from behind, and also taking into account the speed of the cars in front. So I think, especially here in the motorways, an extremely good driver. This was a bit stupid. We need to take an exit to the right in 1.5 kilometers. So it needs to scoot over to the right now. And it can't speed up, so, well, it has 900 meters more, so probably fine. It turned out perfectly fine. The temperature was set at 16 degrees. I don't know why. I think it's been extremely hot the last few days, so maybe somebody was hot. Actually, the only thing I've really been struggling with FSD is the driver monitoring system is very strict. If, for example, I look at the screen for a few seconds, it will flash at me that I need to pay attention. And if the sun is out, I tend to squint a little bit, and then it will have trouble seeing my eyes. Also, maybe because I wear glasses, I have prescription glasses. So I think that makes it harder for us as well. But still, most of the time it's perfectly fine. But when the sun is really bright, it has a hard time keeping track of me. So it'll, like every 5 minutes or something, it will flash at me. And on the drive back from Jylland, it actually did deactivated FSD because it thought I had ignored the warning too many times to pay attention to the road. And I was not on the phone or anything anytime on that drive. I was actually just sitting in the car paying attention and looking at the road. I reported that to Tesla when it disengaged, and I hope it'll be relaxed just a little bit in the next version. But in general, I must say I'm extremely impressed with the product Tesla has got here. I've seen some people complain and think it's ridiculous that, you know, a system that has been worked on for this long is not good at picking the right parking spot at a supermarket or something. But I think that's very easy and, you know, not a bother to just do that yourself. But I think having the car drive you on your commute, and also if you go on long road trips, it'll drive you in, you know, be a nice comfort, and I think that's worth a lot. Also, I think FSD in this version, when it's also supervised, is much safer than just a human driving. I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time not just, you know, just like every once in a while I'll gaze at a message on my phone, or you know, look at a person walking by or another car, or if there's an accident or something. I think it's very human to take a look, and when you look at something else, you're suddenly a much worse driver. And those things doesn't happen with FSD because it pays attention all the time, and it actually drives better than most people. I think it drives pretty much the same as an experienced alert driver. Also, I think in the newer version of FSD, it keeps the distance to the cars in front just a little bit more distance. I think FSD tends to drive just a tiny bit on the too close side. Oh yeah, I also had an incident this Sunday where I was driving on a really small road, and there was a car coming the other way at very high speed around a corner. It was a blind corner, there was a hedge or some tall plants or something. And I disengaged there by accident, actually, because I just, purely by instinct reacted by pulling the wheel to get to the very edge of the road. And I'm pretty sure that FSD would have done exactly the same. It was just, purely by reflex. See if it gives way to the bicycle. It was good. I think in general FSD handles bicycles really, really well. Now let's see if it can figure out my parking spot over here. It's oh yeah, thank you very much. The funny part is, if I'm driving manually and I have auto park, I would just be able to choose the parking spot here. But with FSD, you can't choose the parking spot, so you just have to trust FSD to pick a parking spot. Cool. Well, that was it, guys. Thank you for the time watching my video, and if you could possibly subscribe, I would be very happy. Thank you very much.